We should now be recording.
Great. Thanks, Mackenzie. And welcome to the April 25th, 2001 3C Council of Government Business Meeting. Let's get started with a roll call of the officers present. Please signify by saying present when your name is called. Erica Clark Jones.
Present.
Pat Trivey.
Present.
Eric Stewart.
Sorry, present.
Thanks. And Mark Lambert, present. Let's see here. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the January 25th, 2021 minutes.
Move approval.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. I don't believe there's any community participation, Mackenzie, but I wanted to double check with you.
No, we didn't receive any community participation requests.
Great, thank you. And Eric, I don't believe there's any financial reports to review for this meeting, but I wanted to confirm that with you as well. It's not on the agenda today, but.
Yeah, there is no financial report. The only thing that's happening in terms of our account is interest payments, which are, nominal. And we have a monthly charge, which also is nominal to Fifth Third for the account.
Great. So I thought it was the case, but good to know. Thank you. I guess I'll turn it over now to Joe. He's going to do a COG record retention update.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
The update is that we took the COG retention schedule that we developed with Nalima before she departed and incorporated that into a new RC2 for the Franklin County board. So we added a whole set of record categories around COG records, took it to the Franklin County Records Commission this spring in March. They approved it basically as presented, submitted it to the local government records program at the Historical Society. It was also approved there. And then the last stage was the state auditor also weighed in and approved it. So our COG records are now approved as a concept, and we can start to either destroy, maintain, as spelled out on the retention schedule based on the categories we agreed to at the, like I said, the last working meeting I had with Nalima. And the big one that we're going to do is the COG data that InfoMC has been maintaining for us, because the COG had submitted those letters maybe at the end of September, asking them to hold on to data until we had a approved retention schedule. And now that we have the approved retention schedule, I'm going to work with Justin Curtis to get that that disposal initiated and documented.
That sounds like great news. Was there any questions by any of the members? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is just really about the COG closeout activities. What it put on the agenda was, Eric, a lot of this might look very familiar to you. We've had some emails back and forth about what needs to be done still, I think, with closing out closing out the COG permanently. The laundry list you can see on the screen here. The first thing is getting the COG audit done. I think you had indicated that was anticipated to be this summer that would occur, and then of course filing it through the Hinkle system after the fact.
Yeah, we've done our Hinkle filing for 20, and so that's taken care of. The audit, they could not give me a specific date on because they said they'll be coming out early in the summer, so sometime in July, to do the City of Cincinnati's audit. And then what they're going to do is use the same staff to do that audit to conduct ours after that. That just made the most sense for convenience purposes for the auditor's office. So I'm hopeful that means sometime in July we'll have our audit taken care of and finished. At that point, they said they'll allow a manual opening of the Hinkle system so that I can go in and finalize anything for 21, I guess. Not even sure exactly what all that entails because, you know, I've never closed out one of these before, but I can't imagine that it's any more burdensome than what we normally do, which isn't terrible. You know, there is some timing issues that we're going to have to, you know, give some consideration to, and maybe I'm jumping ahead, but you know, we're really going to need to come up with a date in which we want to dissolve the COG if that's the direction that we're going, because I'm going to need that date to provide to the insurance company, because I think we're going to want to maintain those policies until the COG is dissolved. And so the insurance company then will have to use that date to make a determination as to what's left on our policies and has to be returned to us so that we can get that put back into our checking account, so that that's part of the distribution back to both of the counties when we finalized everything. And of course, the audit fees have to come out of that checking account too. I don't know any other way of managing that task. So we're going to have to leave the checking account open until we get the auditor's final statement. I don't think they'll allow us to prepay that because it's, I believe, based on the hours of service they provide in the audit. I don't think there's like a standard rate. I think they actually charge you for the time involved. But again, I haven't been through one of these, so I can't say definitively.
Yeah, that's been my experience as well, that we wouldn't be able to prepay it. So it's going to be a bit challenging in that sense. And I'm not sure, I guess one of the questions I would have is, can we execute that resolution to dissolve the COG on a certain date and then still have the checking account open until the audit's completed, for example? And, you know, then after everything's said and done, we would just, one of the last actions would be to close out the third account and disperse the remaining residual funds that were in there.
I believe that's accurate.
So we dissolve before we close the account?
Well, we established the dissolution date.
Oh, okay.
You know, we won't dissolve until all of the activities are, you know, taken care of. But at least if I have the dissolution date established, then I can go to the insurance company and ask for a refund of the balance of the policies.
Effective that date, right?
Are those policies on a calendar year basis, do you know, or insurance policies?
You know, off the top of my head, I forget what those are. It's not going to be a huge balance. It's a matter of months.
Okay.
Do we have a recommendation for a date?
Well, kind of working backwards a little bit. Yeah, I know we have another meeting scheduled for, I think around July 25th or 6th, something like that. I can't remember the exact date, but it's the end of July. I don't know if that's too aggressive to be able to actually have the resolution. If nothing else, I think maybe we should have that resolution for approval in the July meeting, regardless of what the date is. We can actually make the date sometime in the future after the July meeting if needed, especially if the audit's not going to be done.
That makes sense.
I would support that approach as well, especially if we give ourselves enough runway to have the audit complete. Did we plan a future meeting post-July? Or is July the meeting we decided was going to be the last meeting with an understanding we'd have a resolution to dissolve, say, you know, arbitrarily September 30? Would July be our last meeting? Just want to make sure I understand the process we have to go through.
Speculating, I would say yes, that we actually could do it with one more meeting to go. I'm not sure any other official actions, unless something would come out of the audit or something like that that needed addressed. I wouldn't anticipate that in any shape or fashion, but I was just, you know, playing devil's advocate. If that's something that come to mind that actually I think would hold things up would be if there's any kind of audit issues in a sense. I don't know if we would need to, I don't think we need to have an audit exit meeting per se with the auditors on this, but I'll open up for others what their thoughts are about that as well.
I have no need for that. So.
Yeah, and I don't anticipate any issues with the audit. You know, I would expect that if we hold the meeting in July, have the resolution established for that meeting, then that would probably be fine. It would allow us to take care of the rest of the closeout activities. And again, I can't think of anything that we would need to vote on, you know, after that.
So just based on what you said, we don't need to accept the audit findings as an official action?
You know, not that I'm of the understanding.
Yeah,
You know.
I'll just say that with our audit exit meetings, those are always basically voluntary. They're not required. We tend to do it just for transparency with our board of trustees, so they would understand if there's any management letter issues or anything like that. But it's not a requirement of the state auditors to actually have an exit meeting or have people attend an exit meeting.
Same with us. Same is true.
Okay, sounds like we might just plan to have this one we have in the books. I don't know the exact date. I think it's the 25th or 26th of July. I think it's a Monday, same time, same place in July. I guess we can just go from there. If something will come up between now and then that we would need an additional meeting, I guess we could discuss what that would be in July.
Sounds good.
Okay.
It's on my calendar for July 26th.
6th, thank you. Okay, I didn't have my calendar up to look it up. Thank you. Let's see here, just real quick, a couple of things on this list. I'm not sure if you guys are going to need this for your audit as well, but we did ask InfoMC to complete a SOC 1 audit again for the 2020 audit period for us. They're expected to have that completed by May 15th. We can forward that information to you when we get it if you'd like.
That would be great.
Okay, will do. Hopefully it'll be by the 15th. We have a May 30th kind of due date internally to get all of our audit work done. So they're pushing it right up against the edge. It's one last deliverable for InfoMC. So let's see if there's anything else. We kind of discussed a little bit the resolution to dissolve the COG. I think we could probably take the current resolution that got approved at the last meeting to discontinue operations and just basically change the language a little bit into making it dissolving the COG itself. I think I just take a little bit of wordsmithing in that regard. People have like-minded about that, or?
That's fine.
Okay.
That works.
I can take the lead on getting that done as well, as far as the language around that. We'll send it out in advance as well for you guys to take a look at. Do you think we would need any kind of legal opinion on that or anything?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so, but
Is the attorney we were working with, is she still on retainer?
No, she is not on a retainer, and if we were to engage her, we would end up having to file all the tax forms in 22 for 21. So we've tried to avoid any incurred expenses during the current year for that reason.
Erica, I think it'd be prudent for us to vet it with our county prosecutor or anything.
You know, that's the idea I was holding as well, Mark. Curious if you and Scott think that'd be appropriate.
I don't see where it could hurt. I don't think any of us have any experience with dissolving anything like this, a council of government. So it probably couldn't hurt to have that done, in my opinion. Scott, do you have a different opinion, or?
I have the same opinion. It doesn't hurt to ask, see what their experience is, see what their comfort level is, and try to see if they have an opinion on it or not.
Okay, let's pursue that instead, because I definitely understand the issue with our previous attorney.
Just an FYI, when we tried to engage them on the retention schedule, they were reluctant to serve as the legal expert because of the COG dynamic. So that may pop up again when you do reach out to them.
Thank you, Joe. That's helpful. We'll see what kind of feedback we get from, I guess. One of the items that we have to do once we actually do all this, as part of this dissolving this council of government, would be to probably file some documentation to the Secretary of State as well. We did a similar thing just recently with the what do we call that association? I can't remember what it's called now. Ohio Association of Admin Boards, I think it was called. We did have to file some paperwork with them as well. And I think it just notifies them that we're no longer an entity as a council of government.
And just for historical, because I'm the old guy, Franklin has in the past dissolved a council of governments. That ACT program that was a multi-county council of governments in the late 90s was actually dissolved. So you may have a file on that with the letter on that in some fashion. So
we can try to look that up. That predates me, but yeah, we can definitely take a look at that.
Predates a lot of you. So.
Yeah, Mr. Tribby, I think that's everybody on this call from the Franklin side. So we'll have to dig into the crates for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was called ACT, Alternatives for Children and Teens or something like that. It was put together with all of your surrounding counties. And I was actually at one of those surrounding counties at that point, but Hamilton County was not part of that. So
yeah, we'll do some digging on that, definitely. I know the acronym at least, so
yeah,
not totally foreign to me.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. We can't, our county prosecutor would not comment on this because it's a, it's a council of governments. So.
Okay. I think we hit on most of these other items about canceling the COG insurance on a defined date. Ultimately with closing out the Fifth Third bank account and then the disbursement of any kind of residual funds to the two remaining boards in the COG, both Hamilton and Franklin County. Any other thoughts on closeout activities? Are we missing anything material that anybody's aware of?
Not to my knowledge.
All right. As far as the next thing on the agenda was just discussing what the next agenda is going to look like for July. It sounds like we're going to have a resolution on there. Probably figuring out I think between now and then we can just communicate via email to try to determine an actual date that we want to make this dissolving effective in that sense. Other than that, I'm not sure there's a whole lot on the July agenda. We'll probably put on there, the closeout activities once again to see kind of a status update where we are with the audit and things of that nature. But I didn't have anything extra on top of that to put on the July meeting, but I'm opening up for others if they have anything. Okay, hearing nothing else, we'll send out an agenda ahead of time as well. See if there's anything else anybody wants to add to that. Was there any additional business, any new business?
From our side.
Erica, did you have anything new business related?
I have none.
Okay, I do not myself. And I don't think there's any old business to attend to either at this point in time.
I would move for us to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Mark, thanks for running the meeting. Bye, everybody.
Oh, no problem. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Take care.